The government invests in Intel, and Bluesky drops out of Mississippi. This is MacVoices. This MacVoices is supported by the Insta360 Go Ultra, the camera that goes everywhere with you. Visit store.insta360.com and the promo code MacVoices to get a free set of sticky tabs. All right, the other big one that I wanted to touch on tonight, I wanted to get through the Apple news, and then I wanted to get everyone's feelings or discussions on the U.S. government taking a 10% stake in Intel stock and the stock responding positively to it.
Well, his companies generally fail and go bankrupt, so this might not be good news.
Fortunately, it's only 10%, Marty.
But the government has also done the same thing with Chrysler. They did the same thing with General Motors. They've done these types of things before to help reinforce a company that does, to a certain extent, contribute to Americana. I'll just put it that way. So I don't think this is necessarily. I'm trying not to get political. I don't agree with the general philosophy that you put out, Marty. I think that the government has done this several times in the past.
The government has done this several times in the past. However, the difference is, like when you look at what happened with the bank industry and with the car industry, the government went in with the intent to get out, and there was a very clear path to that exit. The difference here is that the government has gone in without any obvious intent to get out down the road, which raises the concern of state-owned enterprise.
But Jeff, okay, 10%, $8 billion. That ain't chump change. I'll agree with that. Okay, but I haven't seen that what the government's doing here. They're not taking a board seat. They're not taking any other type of governance side of the organization. I think that they, in a nice way, they're trying to prop it up a little bit. Oh, excuse me, I have a visitor.
Oh,
hey, say hi, guys.
Hey,
all right. Show's over.
Oh.
Yeah. I brought a baby. Show's over. So anyway, this is my grandson Hudson. Trace and I have been watching him this week. So anyway, he's getting ready to go to bed. So good night, guys.
Good night, Hudson.
Good night, Hudson.
Good night, Hudson.
Take care. Nice to
he
meet
can't hear you because I got these things on. But
yeah.
He is my little buddy. We share a birthday. He was born on my birthday, so he's my birthday buddy.
Good job, Hudson.
Yeah. He came about a month early to do it, but that's okay. That's okay.
I hear they named a river after him.
Bye.
Good night, Hudson.
Night, buddy.
So, Webb, as long as the government doesn't take an active role in running the business, then that does ease my concern a little bit. I'm still cautious, especially because now we have the whole NVIDIA and AMD thing, which is, I know, a different thing, but there's enough going on that I don't feel like, until I see proof, that I can trust. If that makes sense.
Do you believe that Intel can get out of this as easily as they got into it?
I think Intel
they can do the stock buyback and take it out. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if Intel can raise enough to buy themselves back out of that, great. I don't think they could do that today.
Yeah, we've had this conversation too. Or Intel made the mistake that they were betting on servers and not on AI. And
Yep.
that's where they kind of went down the spiral. So anyway,
Yep.
I see several tools that Intel can use if they need to get out of this deal. I also see the opportunity that the federal government could, I'm not saying they will, but they could reverse this thing out. What they don't want to do is damage a really significant player in the IT economy. Not as strong today as they were, say, 5-7 years ago.
Mhm.
But do you have faith that Intel can work their way out of this thing? It's a coin flip, but yeah, they
Yeah.
could
They could, or not.
or not. So
I just looked up the bank bailout. That was done with an act of Congress, not just the executive acting on its own authority. So that seems like a significant difference here.
but that was done through the Federal Reserve System too. Banking
Well,
system is highly regulated in this country. So I'm just saying it's
It
not
was
an
done
apples to
through the
apples comparison.
Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008.
Right.
And it was enacted through what organization?
United States Congress.
No, that's
was-
who put together the legislation. But who was the cop?
Who was what?
It was the Federal Reserve System. Federal Reserve Bank was the person that was put in charge to make sure that went through, because all the banks had to be members of the Federal Reserve System.
Yes, but the bill created a $700 billion troubled asset relief program. So sure, that was managed by the executive, but they didn't just do that without passing a law.
Okay.
Well, and I want to get everybody else in here, but I'll make this point just because we're here. From what I read and did some research today, the Intel investment, it's not a bailout. In the same way, it is more based on it's funding based on subsidies and incentives rather than emergency loans, and it's supposed to help stabilize the U.S. semiconductor industry, which has some very definite similarities to the auto situation. Let's get everybody else in here. So start off with Brian.
Sure. Just a couple of thoughts that came to mind. I was wondering, and I just don't know maybe, but I didn't know how healthy Intel was and if they were on their deathbed and if they needed this, because otherwise it seems to me if it's not as emergent as and I was kind of looking at the precedents here of former government involvement in buying parts of private companies like this. But it seems to me that if it's not a company on its deathbed that was, necessary for, huge destabilization in the economic economy, that maybe it seems like playing favorites. I don't know. It didn't come off well to me. I don't know.
Oh, I so badly want to start a conversation there, Brian, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go to bed.
I will say this: internationally, federal government investor. I can't talk. The federal government investing and taking part ownership in private business is not an uncommon thing, even among Western countries. That said, this is something very uncommon within U.S. tradition.
Okay. Fair point. Marty?
Take a look at the article, and it just smells fishy. And I'm quoting from the article. Two weeks ago, Trump called for Intel CEO's Lip-Bu resignation due to highly conflicted, in caps, ties with China before joining Intel Tan led Cadence Design, a firm that recently pleaded guilty to an investigation by the Justice Department over charges of selling its chip design products to Chinese Military University. And then they had a private meeting, and I don't know, maybe he gave him a statue or a little award with a gold base on it or something. But then I met with Mr. Lip-Bu Tan of Intel, along with Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent. The meeting was a very interesting one. His success and rise is an amazing story. And then after the meeting, we get this investment in Intel.
Is this a way you deal with this administration? You have to go and plead fealty to the administration. Maybe they took a page out of Tim Cook's book and figured it's better to join them and then fight them. I did throw in though another article, and I'm going to throw it in again to both chat rooms because this is from Ben Thompson on the Stratechery website. Stratechery. Yeah. Okay. This one is.
I subscribe to it, so that's why.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So thank you for correcting me on that because I do not visit this website. Pardon me, as often as I probably should. This is a very, very lengthy, detailed article. But the bottom line seems to be that Ben's commentary is that this might be the least worst way of trying to keep Intel going as a semiconductor company in this country. And I think it's worth your time. It also is available as a podcast if you want to listen to it. But it sort of turned me around a little bit that I'm with Marty. The way it was presented didn't feel good. But on the other hand, what's behind it, it may not be the worst thing in the world. Definitely not the best, but may not be the worst.
I guess my question about this is, wasn't that money originally designated to go to Intel anyway after a congressional act? And then basically Trump made an announcement that he was making this investment and he was re-gifting a grant as a loan?
That's what that article that I posted in the Slack said.
Oh, thank you, Jim. I'm sorry. I need to go back and get that article.
So the CHIPS Act had money available to go to Intel. It just hadn't gone to Intel yet. Now all of a sudden, it's not a grant; it's a loan. I
thought it's a purchase now.
Well,
now all of a sudden,
purchase whatever it is. Yeah, it's not a grant anymore, which was the original congressional intention. That's my issue with it.
I think it's more of an investment than a purchase.
But the point is that the funds were allocated by Congress as a grant. And now it's been like, oh, well, it's not a grant. You're giving us stock in exchange for this money, when Congress said you just get this money.
Okay, I'm throwing Jim's article in, and I'm quick to say, whoops, it didn't like that. I sort of shied away from the Tech Dirt article I just threw in because it is very, very politicized. Having the arguments there are more constitutional than business. And that always crosses over into, you can't go to constitutional until you get, without it just becoming political. So that's why I wanted to focus more on the business part of this. I was trying to look up though my notes as to where the original chips were. Congressional, the funds were largely from the CHIPS Act and other programs were earmarked to help Intel as a private company, not to buy government ownership. And then it flipped a little bit. And I think I've got this right, that the government was trying to pull some of the CHIPS Act money out of the CHIPS Act and use it for things like this.
That was from your earlier Intel article. The government's equity stake will be funded by the remaining $5.7 billion in grants previously awarded but not yet paid to Intel under the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, and $3.2 million awarded to the company as part of the Secure Enclave program. Intel will continue to deliver on its Secure Enclave obligations and reaffirm its commitment to delivering trusted and secure semiconductors to the U.S. Department of Defense. The $8.9 billion investment is in addition to the $2.2 billion in CHIPS grants Intel has received to date, making for a total investment of $11.1 billion.
So there you go. It was 5.7 in grants had previously been awarded but not yet paid.
Yeah, plus a 3.2.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's like, well, would you like these grants? Give us 10% in stock.
Yeah.
And there's a video clip of Trump saying exactly that, well, I met with this Intel guy and I said, hey, why don't you give us 10% of your company? And he said, okay.
I mean, what's he going to say at this point?
Yeah.
Well, if he wants that other 5.7 billion in grants.
But the issue is, if Congress allocates funding for something, you're not supposed to rearrange the money and ship it somewhere else, or re-give it with a deal on the side. It's supposed to go back to Congress, and then they redo how they're doing the money part. It's moving power from Congress to the executive branch.
Joe in the chat room says now he has 10% control of Intel. Not quite sure that's true, Joe. I don't know what class of stock was given, but at most, since there are no seats on the board, the most they would have is a 10% voting block of stock. So I don't know if 10% is enough to control the company.
It's the precedent it sets, saying that it doesn't matter what Congress does, I can change the deal after the fact. And the power of the purse is in one branch of government, and it's not the executive branch.
And pray that I don't alter the deal further.
It's funny. I had that scene running through my head while Eric was talking.
Yep.
I mean, regardless of whether or not that's what really happened, the optics of this play poorly.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying, Jeff. But
and yet here I am saying it.
Yeah. Well, no, it does need to be said.
Mm-hmm.
But it does not feel good when 1 minute or 1 week he's calling for the CEO's resignation. The next minute he's a great guy. He's had a great rise, and by the way, we're investing 10%. So I don't disagree with that. I can't believe that we've gotten this far.
I've met us. I can't.
So today's MacVoices is supported by the new Insta360 Go Ultra, the tiny 4K camera that goes with you everywhere. Looking for a camera that's small, powerful, and ready for anything? Meet your new best friend, the Insta360 Go Ultra. Here are the high points. Ultra portable, about the size of your thumb, equips to your shirt, hat, or backpack. 4K clarity, sharp, vibrant video that looks as good as your adventures feel. Flow state stabilization, no shake, no wobble, just smooth cinematic footage. Smart modes, slow-mo, hyperlapse, and time shift built right in. Hands-free capture, one-touch controls that let you live in the moment and not mess with settings. Charging case is included, extra battery on the go, so you're always ready for the next video adventure. A quick editing app. Trim, add music, and share in just minutes. Whether you're biking on a mountain trail, walking city streets, or just recording your everyday life, the Go Ultra is the camera you'll actually carry, and the one that makes every memory shine. Check it out now at store.insta360.com, and don't forget to use the promo code MacVoices for your bonus sticky tabs. The Insta360 Go Ultra, small in size, huge in performance, and ready for anything. Thanks to Insta360 for supporting MacVoices. We're going to do one more quick one and then get out of here. And I wanted to do this especially for Webb. Because Webb, I wanted to make sure that you knew that all of your fans and friends in Mississippi might not be able to contact you if they're underage, because Bluesky has blocked service in
Whoa.
in Mississippi over their age assurance law. And I know you promote Bluesky here as your social media of choice. I wonder about this and what effect this is going to have. And is this a precedent that, okay, we can't or won't or don't want to enforce these age requirements. Yeah. And so we're just going to turn it off to that state.
Oh, you're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, I fully support that.
Yep.
Whoa. Small players are going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason they're going to have to is because the wording of that law is very broad, and the amount of information that these companies will be required to maintain is very expensive. And so seeing Bluesky just immediately say, yeah, we're out. Everyone sort this out in court. And if they fix it in a way that that fiscally makes sense, we're back. But otherwise, bye. Yeah, Jim's right. Bluesky is not the first company, or excuse me, not the last company to do this. I'm sure we will see more.
And there really isn't a way to do this safely. You're holding a whole pile of information, and you're one escape of data bit away from spewing personal information all over the place.
So I don't hear anybody pushing back against this on this panel.
I'm
against
Team Bluesky
doing that?
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm asking. I agree with you completely. I mean, the way this article posted, it's like I'm giving up some very confidential information under this law, and I don't trust anybody to maintain. Well, some people you have to trust, like your doctor and all, and the federal government you have to trust, because if you don't pay your taxes, then they come for you. But with things like this, no.
Chuck, here's something to mull over with all this. Facebook has to do this too.
Facebook can afford to do this.
And Facebook can afford to do it. So that means Facebook
and Facebook doesn't care if they breach your information.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've already been through that argument.
Yeah. Facebook is really happy to get all of the additional,
information.
Bits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they're like, what a shame it would be if it accidentally leaked into our data pile.
Could we ask you to ask for more information? That would be helpful for us too.
I now have this image in my head of Mark Zuckerberg being so happy that he high fives someone in his office so hard that it breaks the human skin shell on his hand, and you can see the lizard skin underneath.
Brian?
This isn't going to end with Mississippi either.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
I was just looking at it and thinking.
It ain't going to end in Bluesky either.
Yeah.
No.
And
I was thinking, like, even if I was in Mississippi, I'd be done with using services that are asking for this type of information. you think about like even I was pretty sure on LinkedIn to verify, like you're a real person or whatever. It's like you're handing over confidential information like that, and it's like, no, I don't know where that information is being stored. I don't know how it's being utilized. It's not worth it.
So, Jeff?
But Brian, you understand that it's being government mandated.
Or you don't
All
use the
services
product.
will have to do this in Mississippi. They'll either have to do this or exit the market.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. Yeah. And I understand.
So what you're saying is if you lived in Mississippi, you'd stop using a computer.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you live in Mississippi, you buy a VPN.
Yeah.
Until those become illegal.
Until those become illegal, and then only outlaws will use VPNs to protect a small modicum of their privacy.
And you'll be buying a VPN from someone offshore.
Yeah.
Which
China
also
seems
your
to have
data.
managed to lock this stuff down. It can be done. It's not technically impossible.
do you wait a minute, Jim? Do you really want to advocate for a Chinese policy of privacy?
No. But I'm saying that's the direction we're headed.
Oh yeah.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.